Lel, and it's finally time to talk about Tropical-Rouge Precure, the movie. I was so excited for so many reasons, but this feels very fitting. It feels very fitting to talk about the movie right now. The movie was released this week in Japan in Blu-ray format, because obviously it had already been airing in cinemas. And today I finally got my Tropical-Rouge calendar. Girl, I was so excited. I was counting down the days to receive this. It feels that 2022 can finally start for me, and I'm happy because it arrives still in February, so I can enjoy the February month of this first page. Girl, I'm so happy. I got this in November 2021. Things take a long time to arrive here in Brazil. What can you do? But anyways, let's talk about the Tropical-Rouge Precure movie. I was very excited because people have been saying awesome things about it. I love Tropical-Rouge, I love Heartcatch, so I was ecstatic to watch it. So I just want to give a general feeling that I had watching the movie before I go into spoiler section. So if you haven't seen the movie, this is not going to contain spoilers. When it does, I'm going to give a spoiler warning. I thought this movie was incredible. First, because I feel like Tropical-Rouge was a very light season. It was very lighthearted. It was fun. It was energetic. It was very tropical. They were always tropicalizing in the narrative. Like, they tried to give this tropical feel with the narrative itself. So every time we had a moment that was supposed to be a little sadder, or a moment that was supposed to be a little darker, it was always very light. They always tried to make everything as light as possible, because that was the whole theme of the season. Tropicalizing, everything is fun, everything's enjoyable. So it really made sense, and I loved it. I really loved how Tropical-Rouge worked with all of that. But in the movie, they tried something different. They went a different route. They let it be dramatic, they let it be sad, and look, it was a 180 turn, because it was so different from what Tropical-Rouge was in the actual season that I was very surprised. And I honestly also loved this tone shift. It's always nice to have an established cast of characters and put them in some sort of different narrative that they wouldn't be in their regular show. So I really loved this whole thing in this movie. So now let's talk spoilers, because girl, it's impossible to talk about this movie without entering spoiler territory. The first thing I want to talk about is Heartcatch, and how I got the feeling that Precure has changed so much throughout the years. Heartcatch is a very beloved season of mine, and it was a very nice surprise to see them in the movie. I loved their participation. Even though Itsuki and Yuri, they didn't really do much, I really loved Yuri's participation. Yuri's my favorite from the Heartcatch girls, so I loved watching Moonlight. Yuri was very smart throughout the whole movie. She didn't speak much, but every time she spoke, she had something to add. Like she said, she was the first one to notice that there was something wrong with Shantia, and she also researched that years and years and years ago, 13,000 years ago, something happened in Shantia. So she knew what she was going into. So it really showcases Moonlight and Yuri as a character. I loved that so much. She was so smart throughout the movie. But what I want to talk about here first is the fact that Precure has changed over the years. There was a scene when Laura was talking about performing, and the girls were going to be her backup dancers, and she created a costume for herself. It was super absurd. And then Erika came in, and they started butting heads. They really started having a big conflict. And we don't usually see that in Precure anymore. We don't see the girls fighting amongst themselves. And then I remembered that we used to see that so much in the past. So much. And I was thinking, what was the last time we saw that happening in a Precure season like it was in the movie? I don't remember. And this really showcases a big shift in how Precure is nowadays. Another example of that is the battle against Sherry. So I want to talk about battles, but I want to talk about battles a little later. I want to talk about one specific thing. The Hardcatch girls are like super strong fighters, and we know that. They are relentless in battle. And in the battle, we see Blossom and Maureen attacking Sharon directly. And Laura, she totally lost the will to fight during the fight, and then she entered in front of Sharon, and she did not want to fight. And we see like a Precure attacking another Precure. That never happened as well. That it doesn't usually happen. I mean, I know that there is that Max Hart movie, but you know, that don't usually happen. And like, if it were Precure like 10 years ago, they would have beaten the shit out of Sharon before, you know, getting to talk more to her and to get to understand her. That would have been how they would have done it. And nowadays, it is not. And a little later in the movie, like in the final battle, when the girls get the power-ups, which are very beautiful, by the way, when they summon the big entity that the Hardcatch girls summon, the Tropical-Rouge girls, they use her in a very different way. She is not going to punch the monster. She is going to embrace the monster, hug the monster, and understand the monster. So this is Precure now. This is what Precure is nowadays. So the big shift in tone was very well exemplified in this movie, so I really liked that as well. So now let's talk about the movie more in general. Tropical-Rouge, love everything concerning those 5 characters. They were super interesting in this movie, all of them, no exception. From the start to the end, they were stellar. All the 5 characters. Like at the start of with the girls in the train going and, you know, enjoying themselves, Asuka sitting by herself and then Minori joining her. Girl, like this really showcases how connected they are with each other and how at ease they are with each other. Love that. The girls playing on the snow, and Asuka also playing on the snow and being left behind. Oh my god, Asuka had so many cute moments. Girl, I loved seeing that. Really, really great. In terms of personality, I think all of the girls were able to have like little moments, even though the movie was a heavy focus on Laura. And also on Manatsu in a sense, and obviously Tsubami and Erika, but mostly Laura. And Laura really solidified her position as one of my favorite Precures after this movie. I love her. I loved her relationship with Sharon and how she was able to connect with her. And I also loved that moment when Laura got to see Sharon for the first time. She started presenting herself, and the girls were shocked with Laura, like, oh my god, she can really do it. Oh my god, she can really showcase her queen side, her regal side. Because she doesn't showcase that very often. And she can really change her personality to what she needs to be. I love that aspect about her. And I also believe that the Hardcatch girls also had their times to shine. We had nice moments between Erika and Laura. I really think that, apart from the fact that Hardcatch is very popular, and obviously just having Hardcatch there would attract lots of fans, lots of viewers to the movie. I also believe that another reason for them to choose Hardcatch was that Erika and Laura were going to work very, very well together. And they did. Every second that they interacted was golden. And all other things that were awesome were like how the Hardcatch girls were trying to hide the fairies. That was amazing. Kururun opening the door. Best scene of every Precure movie ever. Girl, I loved that so much. And we had funny scenes, we had interesting scenes and sad scenes. We had everything in this. And now I want to talk about Sharon. Sharon is a very interesting and powerful antagonist. And the fact that she was never presented as an antagonist was also very nice. And you could notice that there was something wrong since the start, but when she actually turns into her dark self, or into her more like focused on her own kingdom self, it was awesome and it was so well done. And you could really understand Sharon in a way. But at the same time, they never really gave her the most tragic backstory ever in terms of, we're gonna give her this tragic backstory that you're gonna cry when you watch it. I mean, I feel like in a way she was carrying her country's legacy. But then on the other side, we have the fact that it was only one day away for her to become queen. And she lost that in Shantia. She absolutely lost the fact that she was going to become queen. And now she wanted to be queen. There was this egoistic side of Sharon as well that was kind of part of the equation. And I also loved that. But at the end, she was doing it because she wanted to carry Shantia's legacy onward. And in a way, that's what she was trying to do. And another thing that I have to mention here, Sharon's voice acting was out of this world. Like, girl, I don't understand. How was that possible? I am on the floor with this. On the floor with Sharon's voice acting. Also, her design is so beautiful, especially when her hair gets down after she starts fighting. Girl, that was amazing. Amazing. And for me, the best scene of the movie was when La Mer was able to confront her. After they lost the battle the first time, and then they got back, loved that, and like how they played with the camera, because they were in front of each other, but it didn't feel like they were in front of each other, and how the camera worked in that scene. It was artistic, bold, and it really gave me the feeling that they were in confront with each other. They were confronting each other. And that scene that, like, she started like giving that blizzard feel to the scene, and then Manatsu held La Mer's hand, Summer held La Mer's hand. Girl, it was everything. Everything. I also loved that. And everything getting up until the last battle was also amazing. But now let's talk about the battles before I talk about something else. As I said before, Precure has changed. And we don't see the intense battles that we usually see in Precure anymore. And this also happened with movies, even though I feel like in the Healing Good movie we had those types of scenes. In this scene we had lots of very nicely animated scenes and so many creative usages of the powers of all the girls. Loved that. And when we saw the Heartcatch girls joining the battle and they were all fighting together, it was so cool. And the Heartcatch and the Tropical-Rouge girls performing an attack together and even doing the victory thing, even though the Heartcatch girls didn't do the victory thing. Girl, that was so nice. I loved it so much. And at the end, we see the Tropical-Rouge girls fighting with the Heartcatch power-up. I loved that. But I feel like there were certain moments that it feels like they didn't really know what to do with the animation. Because like at the end, at the Super Silhouette form, when they were performing that attack, I felt that was very weird, the placement of the girls in like squares on the screen before the attack finished. I felt that was a little uninspiring and weird. But the transformation scene was just incredible. Also, out of this world. I loved that a lot. But there was one thing that I did not like in this movie, and it was basically what was supposed to be the climax. I loved that they defeated Sharon and made her confront the truth. But she did not want Shantia to just go away. So La Mer found a way of getting Shantia and making Shantia live forever, which was through a song. Love that. Absolutely love that. But then we get to the actual performance of that idea that La Mer had. And what happened? I don't understand. Because the movie was gorgeous in terms of animation and creativity. It feels like they got very creative with everything and everything was lost in this scene. Because the scene itself was great, like the song is great and the idea is great, but there was no animation in the scene at all. The girls were performing like stiff. They didn't even reach their hands or made like big movements like we see in musicals. That would have added so much power to that moment. I would have loved that. But I still feel like the emotion was there. And the conclusion of the scene with Sharon like really giving like her last breath and thanking Lemaire for everything she did and for the friend she was able to make was gorgeous. Because I feel like Sharon is a very tragic character and she was worked so well in the movie and she had a perfect goodbye because she was able to have some sort of feel of being a queen. She had that feel. She really mistook her hands for her feet and she didn't really do the right thing. But at the end of the day, she was doing it for her country and for the legacy of her most beloved country. I feel like it must have been so hard for her emotionally, waking up and seeing everything that you had destroyed. Like you were the only one. Everything else was gone. And the same thing that destroyed everything that you loved was the thing that kept you alive. It must have been hard for Sharon. And I really liked the conclusion and the goodbye. Really loved it. So for me, the only thing I did not like was the singing scene. And then at the end, we see the costume that Eric did, and the girls are going to perform with that costume. And when they perform with that costume, they don't move either. They are stiff on the stage. I hate this because I love those costumes so much and we get to see them so little. I was so angry with that scene, with the ending of the movie. Oh my god, I was so angry with that. That is the only bad thing I have to say about this. I loved everything else. And I feel like this is one of the strongest Precure movies we've ever had. And I feel like there are two things that are responsible for this. One, Sharon, and second, Laura. Both of them really made this movie so strong and so powerful. But I also have to commend the other Tropical-Rouge girls because they were all gorgeous in their own way. And I really loved how they were able to give a little bit of their flavor and a little bit of their personality to this movie as well. And the Heartcatch girls were also great. I was never expecting Itsuki and Yuri to speak a lot, but I liked their roles, I liked the way they played with the girls, and I also liked the way they fought with them as well. And I really loved the fact that they gave them their powers to give them the power-up. Amazing. Girl, what an awesome movie. What an awesome way of closing the Tropical-Rouge experience to me, because now the season is over, the movie is over. It was incredible. So I'm very happy with this. Loved this movie. How did you feel about it? As I said, I loved it. I just can't. It's very hard to say goodbye to Tropical-Rouge, and this was like the last thing I was holding on to. But it's gone now, and you know, it was just enjoyable a lot, and I loved every second. Like, almost every second. Just cut out that song part. Girl, what an incredible movie. What did you think about it? Please leave a comment. Let's keep talking in the comment box below. Anyways, I just want to give a little shout out to Inu. Thank you for the pictures for this video. Thank you very much. And if you've watched up to now, thank you so much as well. But a special thank you to the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye!